Well, civil rights and environmental groups are calling for an emergency order now by the EPA that would actually force upgrades to the Goodyear plant in Niagara Falls.
This comes after it was revealed a potentially dangerous amount of possible cancer-causing emissions were tested for at the facility by the state. 2 on Your Side's Nate Benson is following that story for us tonight. Nate?
Yeah, Scott and Mary Alice, Goodyear says they are in compliance with their current permit that allows a certain amount of these emissions to be released. The chemical we're talking about is orthotoluidine, also referred to as OT. It's used at the Goodyear chemical plant in Niagara Falls, where the company makes rubber antioxidants. Short-term exposure can lead to respiratory or central nervous system issues, confusion, dizziness.
Long-term effects, bladder cancer, as has been well documented at the Goodyear facility for decades among the workers.
According to the New York State DEC permit submitted by Goodyear, there are scrubbers installed to control emissions. Goodyear renewed that permit in 2009. But in 2021, the DEC updated its guidelines for how much orthotoluidine can be released in the air.
They used to be able to allow 5,000 pounds of OT a year to go into the air. Under the new permit requirements, it would be 100 pounds.
That's a 98% reduction in the amount of OT the state allows. But because Goodyear is operating under that older permit still, they haven't made changes to reduce emissions.
So unfortunately, our state agency has broken the public trust by not requiring Goodyear under a new permit for the last 4 years to meet that new standard.
That's why groups like Don't Waste New York, the United Steelworkers, NAACP of Niagara Falls, and others are calling on the federal EPA to declare a clean air emergency, which would require Goodyear to immediately make changes.
EPA has often acted when states have failed to protect residents. And this is such a case. And it is warranted because the threat is clearly imminent.
It's a known carcinogen, and the DEC has been irresponsible, as well as the Department of Health, in not requiring Goodyear to immediately reduce those emissions.
Traces of orthotoluidine were found within a half-mile of the Goodyear plant, according to a map produced by the DEC. As for what's being done at the state level, Governor Hochul's office tells me that she has directed the Department of Environmental Conservation to exercise its oversight of Goodyear. The state DEC says in regards to a new permit with Goodyear, these emission limits will be further strengthened in the upcoming permit modification. Now, Goodyear provided a statement tonight, again maintaining that they are in compliance with the current permit and they're working on implementing any changes that are needed. On Your Side, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.